whether it be weather, whether it be security concerns, or things that happen at ports. As many of you may have heard, there were threats of strikes on ports on the east coast of the United States and even on other coasts, which do disrupt how we get our food. These risks highlight a critical need for us to try and our best to bolster local food production and to increase, especially, the storage capacity. Without storage, it's difficult to have sustainable food supplies. Even the Bible stories talk about how they needed to have storages of grain to order to feed the people, not just taking it straight from the fields, but storing it so that people would have food. It's no different in these times. Good storage ensures good food supply. Recognizing this challenge, the agriculture crop strategy was devised in 2016 and laid out the foundation for a more resilient, self-sufficient agricultural sector. One of the key recommendations was to establish a centralized facility to support food production and to ensure adequate storage for locally grown crops. During those consultations, it became evident that while many full-time farms had certain resources to maintain a level of storage, our smaller farms and part-time farmers did not have those resources and were at a disadvantage. This significant gap became a major bottleneck, limiting many farmers' ability to produce and to provide supply of essential food items, and limiting their ability to expand production because they couldn't immediately store what they produced. So this overall constrains the ability for us to have a local sustainable food supply. To date, since implementing that strategy, Bermuda has had significant strides. Today, virtually all registered local growers benefit from this place, the Agricultural Service Center, which is vital to supporting our commercial farming community. The center provides essential services, which include cold storage, banana ripening, ice production, and supplying essential materials such as herbicide chemicals, seed, and packaging. It is also instrumental in managing agriculture embargoes,
Okay, great.
ensuring that
And we're back
the
with the
continued
Privacy
operation
Commissioner,
of the agricultural
Alexander
sector
White, who's been at this now 4 years.
facilities age. However, if you take a moment to view the structure, it is housed in a centuries plus old building, a warehouse. And it is clear that it is no longer viable for what we desire for it to operate as. The facility actually poses a real risk to us being able to sustainably maintain our agricultural sector with a deteriorating asbestos cement roof, insufficient water storage, and failing cold storage rooms. While temporary repairs have been made over the years, continuously, and I credit the staff who's here, who've had to maintain, and those who have assisted us with these temporary repairs, like the Ministry of Public Works, the long-term solution is essential. We need a new facility. Following extensive evaluation of government and private sector properties, construction and new state-of-the-art agricultural services center on government-owned land immediately south of the current site has been identified as the best solution that we must take action on. This new 15,000 square foot facility will be designed for efficiency, sustainability, and resilience to provide a much needed boost to Bermuda's local food production capacity and bolster our overall food security as an island. And there are key features which I'd like to outline to you that will be a part of this new facility. It will have advanced cold storage and humidity-controlled areas for improved crop preservation, a hydro-cool room to extend the freshness of perishable goods, expanded dry storage for farming chemicals, seed, and other essential supplies, modern sorting, packaging, and inspection capabilities to ensure local produce reaches the market optimal collection, and systems that minimize environmental impact. A backup generator to ensure continued operation during any power disruptions that might happen. The planning process for this is well underway. Brunel Engineering Limited has provided detailed designs, with initial project management being led by the Ministry for Public Works, the Estates Department, and also the Department of Land and Buildings. The necessary permits have been received, and a Class A cost estimate of $14.55 million for the work, reflecting recent inflationary impacts, has. The Ministry of Home Affairs has submitted a request as part of the 2026 budget allocation. And once approved, the development is expected to last about 2 years duration. This facility is not just an infrastructure project. It is a cornerstone of our integrated agriculture strategy, which I have discussed in the past, and a key initiative as part of the economic recovery plan, which the government has been pursuing. Without this facility, our efforts to advance local food production cannot be successful and will remain constrained to its limited level that it is right now. And job creation, which can be a part of agriculture, and leaving Bermuda's vulnerable continuously to instability in food supply and the shocks internationally will remain if we do not have a newly developed facility. Moreover, we all experience yearly hurricanes, and the damage that happens to crops then and this facility is why we need to make the investment. A severe storm, as we know, and we've seen this year on year, not only destroy the stored produce here, but also bring the island's agricultural operation to a standstill, because without the storage, growing and saving crops will not be able to happen for an extended period. And this is something that the island cannot afford to allow to happen. So we are confident this project will be considered critically needed as an investment for the future. And it's one that the Ministry of Home Affairs has been advocating to have supported for many years. One of the strengths of food security is that this will support our farmers, it will create more sustainability in our agricultural system, and will reinforce our commitment to ensure that Bermuda has a sustainable food supply. Now, we know that having 100% food supplied locally is not possible. Those years have gone. That's a Bermuda of over 100 years ago. But we can have quality produce and food grown here locally and provided to the community. And this facility is crucial to ensuring that we have sustainable supply and the ability to do that with all that it can do. This facility will have renewable energy. It will be a modern facility in all of its features as well, so that it reflects where we want to go when it comes to sustainable development and sustainable progress for Bermuda, and also complement the natural environment, of course. So thank you for coming, and with that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you, Minister, for your remarks. Elisa Bernardo with Bermuda Broadcasting.
How are you?
Good, thank you. My first question is, you mentioned that the project is projected to cost around $14.55 million. How do you justify that steep price tag to the public?
Well, this is what has been assessed by those who know about development. It was probably less costly some years ago, but inflation, we know the impact inflation has had on the cost of building, on the cost of materials, and the cost of essential items and manufacturing globally is why this price is more than it is. It hasn't perhaps changed as much from the original estimate that we got a few years ago, but as we know, inflation and those pressures have impacted because everything has to be imported that will contribute to the development of this particular facility, and all those costs are factored into the 14.55 million.
Understood. And you cite the new facility as a critical need for the island's future in regards to food security. How have the plans been received by local farmers?
This is something that the farming community has been advocating for from the time that I became a part of this ministry and responsible for the environment. And my own inspection of the facility, I have from the very inception advocated for its redevelopment, because I also thought that not only should it be redeveloped, but it's also an opportunity for the government to lead by example with showing how a commercially built structure could be environmentally enhancing with sustainability built in mind, with renewable energy, with battery storage, to have its design be environmentally sustainable and complementary. But this will help support the expansion of the actual industry, which is what we want. We just don't want the same industry to be maintaining itself. It is not as a big contributor to the economy as we'd like. With a modern facility, we can grow agriculture, and that's what's important. Grow jobs, grow opportunity, and grow income into the economy.
And just lastly, how will you ensure the long-term feasibility of the new facility? Will there be a rigorous maintenance schedule to ensure that the facility is well taken care of?
Yes, I'm sure that the Ministry of Public Works and the State's Department will do that, but I'm also sure that the team that works here will also take pride in making sure that this is a first-class facility. They have been working in some challenging conditions and still have been a compliment to the agricultural community. I do not doubt that the team in the future will do the same at an even higher level with even better resources.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
You mentioned there about jobs. This could be perhaps a job creator. Do you have any estimate on how many jobs and what kind of jobs?
Well, the facility itself and the capacity that it can add will help other farmers grow their production. The whole idea is that if we have a modern facility that has more capability for storage, that will allow other farmers to invest more in their farming and want to farm more. Right now, because of limitations, there isn't the ability to expand production or even take on growing additional crops that could be cultivated in Bermuda. That will mean more jobs in different areas of agriculture, which is what we want. And we want to have a modern agricultural environment as well, so that not only this will complement what we do now, but it also will be a contributory to when we add other things such as vertical farming and other types of modern agriculture to the picture as well. It will complement all aspects of farming as we have an integrated strategy which we're looking to deploy.
Do you have any estimate on the number of jobs that potentially have?
At this point, I don't, but that is something that we believe that with the confidence of a new facility, our farmers will be able to confidently invest in their businesses, and also new farmers, because what we want to do is expand agricultural activity. Right now, according to estimates, we are only farming about half of the available land, which is just over 700 acres that's available for farming. If there are greater resources available, farmers can confidently expand their operations and also employ more people, make more investment, and grow the farming contribution to the economy.
Sure. You mentioned you had some support from the industry, so there's been consultation on this. Were there any objections, and can you go into them?
I have not myself fielded any objections. What I do know is that from the time that I joined the ministry back in 2018 as environment minister, responsible for agriculture and everything, this was a needed component. And I do have an advisory board, the agriculture board. That full board, which is majority of farmers, are in full support of this project.
Okay, and in terms of the storage, you talked about chemicals and seed storage.
Yeah.
But it's also for actual crop storage
Yes.
as well. Yeah. So how long will these crops be stored for, and is there any risk of them diminishing in quality as they are stored?
No, as long as you have the right conditions, many crops such as carrots, bananas, which often need ripening because much of our banana crop is imported, or even where the market has already absorbed perhaps all that it can, but our farmers' yield has been more, it's possible that some crops can be stored for months here until the next cycle comes or when the demand arises again. And so that's the role that this particular facility will play. It will allow for many crops that if you just leave them to the natural conditions, they will just deteriorate and be, okay, because they're perishable. But this will allow us to sustain their life and make them available to the marketplace without having to rely on importing more. And then we can keep an embargo lasting longer if we know that there's a sustainable supply on the island, which is what helps our farmers if we can maintain the duration of embargoes with essential crops.
Sure. I know we have some embargoes on carrots.
Yes.
I mean, with this facility, could it result in embargoes being placed on other crops?
Yes. If these are crops that we can sustainably grow in Bermuda and store them with a long duration, yes, there are other crops that could be actually added, and we're already doing that. We're adding crops that our farmers are interested in like growing, and if they can grow them sustainably in a particular season, we can embargo those crops from being imported because we know that there will be local supply if the farmers are producing them. So, the same thing with potatoes. Certain periods of year, there is a potato embargo as long as there is a duration of supply until the local supply exhausts itself. So we do that with a number of crops, and we are looking to expand that in any way that we can help farmers, because our priority is to help our local farming community in every way we can.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Minister. That concludes the press conference. Do you have any closing remarks?
Thank you, everybody, for being here. You're not likely to see me at this podium again, at this facility, but I am happy and proud of the work that everybody here has been doing with this project and with doing our best to enhance local agriculture. There is more to come. We have an integrated agriculture strategy, which is in the works, which is meant to support farmers. It's another request that the farmers asked the government to invest in, and we did so. So we kept our promise to farmers with that, as well as we're keeping our promise to farmers with this project, and I'm very proud that it's going to get off. And I just want to thank everybody for being here and being a part of this journey. Thank you very much.